All right, well, if you have not filed your taxes yet, we're on your side with some important reminders, basically a checklist for things you need to have with you when you do file. Joining us now is Dr. Stephanie Yates. She's a financial expert and professor at UAB. Great to have you with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
To me, that's the most exhausting part, though, is getting everything in line and together to get ready to do those. But it's easier to do it online now, I know all that, but you got to have your ducks in a row, so to speak. So where do folks start now?
Well, first, of course, it's pulling all the documents together. And the easiest thing to do is when those things start coming in the mail, you just put them in a pile so that when you're ready to start on your taxes, they're there. But don't forget that some of your documents may be online only. So you need to kind of go through that mental checklist of what am I missing? Do I need to go to my bank and download that document so I can put it with the rest?
And maybe print it out for you if you want to have that tangible. We're also talking about like W-2s. Some companies, you know, they do those digitally as well, right?
Yes, but most of the time they may make a digital copy available, but they'll send you a paper copy as well. But a lot of times the financial institutions will only make their documents available online.
Well, and it would be a big mistake not to take advantage of some credits that are available to some folks. So tell them, give them that checklist things they need to think about.
Well, just think about whether or not you might be eligible for things like the child tax credit, education credits, that's a big one, and they might not necessarily pop up when you're preparing your taxes, or maybe your tax preparer won't ask you about them. But if you had education expenses, there are different education credits that you may be eligible for. So you just want to make sure that you're asking those questions. And
you may or may not know the answer to this question, but with some of those particular software companies that have got those things that will help you fill them out for you, do they have the new deductions already in place for you to go ahead and put that in, or you need to find that out yourself?
Oh, no, they should. Okay. So that's part of the deal if you're going to offer that service, that you have to be up to date. But it's important for consumers to have a working knowledge of tax code, so at least you know which questions to ask. So the software is going to know whether or not you're eligible if you key in the right information.
Okay, so and some of those, yeah, we got the, don't forget the new bill, there's no tax on overtime, the tips over certain income levels. What about the, your IRA? If you get that money, people would just want to spend it. Maybe that's not the best thing to do long term, right?
If you get
a return, if you get a sizable, return from the IRS.
Oh, from the IRS,
yes.
Yes. So if you get a refund, remember the goal is not necessarily to get the big refund, but sometimes we get credits that just make it unavoidable. And so you want to think very carefully about how do I plan so that I kind of net out to zero, and if I get the big refund, how do I spend it wisely, because that money can go really quickly.
And part of that is contributing to an IRA on a regular basis, right?
Yes, and so you want to think about contributing to an IRA because it could lower your tax bill, and also it boosts your retirement savings.
All right, that's a lot to look into, and IRS.gov, they do actually have some resources on there to get some more information from there as well. Dr. Stephanie Yates, always appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.